Love is timeless, that much is true, but when it comes to wedding trends, they are ever changing. If you're getting married this year, you won't want to miss out on the top trends that are taking the wedding industry by storm and are set to make your special day unforgettable. From cutting edge decor to fashion forward bridal styles, we're going to go on a journey to explore the top 5 most exciting and anticipated trends of the year. This is your front row seat to the future of wedding trends and exactly how you can incorporate them into your day. So let's talk about it. Welcome back, my loves, to the Curated Wedding. I'm Nazlee. I run an award-winning wedding venue where we've hosted hundreds of beautiful wedding days. I've also recently gotten married myself, so I'll be unveiling all my insider secrets and top tips from both sides of the aisle so that we can discuss the art of a curated wedding. Now, if you're interested, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell to be notified of my weekly wedding tips so you don't miss a thing. Now let's get into it. So, wedding trends. Each year they come telling us what's in and what's out in the world of weddings for the next year. This year we're looking at some really exciting ones, as the first things that are out are all the stuffy traditions. This year it's all about you and not taking things too seriously. There's some really fun ones in here that I'm a little bit obsessed with, and I think you will be too. Wedding trends usually end up being a compilation of notes from the front row of Bridal Fashion Week for all the latest wedding looks, as well as inspiration from real couples showcasing their wedding days that are getting more and more creative. Yes, real couples, you are also a muse, and of course a heavy influence from incredibly talented wedding suppliers who are always pushing the boat out to create super fresh and artistic takes. This year's selection really has elements from all of these sources of inspiration, and it's a really fresh take. However, before we start, I want to preface this video with a big reminder that your day has to be personal to you and your taste. Working with so many different couples on their wedding celebrations, I found that the most important part is undoubtedly that the wedding is reflective of you as a couple. You have to feel comfortable and love all of your choices for your day. So if you're immediately drawn to some of these and you think they'd add a bit of fun or a nice twist to your wedding, then by all means, let's look at how you can incorporate it. However, if some of them aren't just quite you, then skip them. There are so many exciting ideas out there. I'm sure you'll find some elements that you love. Now, let's get on to the trends. Number 1 for us is candid photographs. In the world of today's wedding photography, it's all about that docu-style vibe with photographers, mixing candid moments with the classical poses. It's not just about freezing the moment, it's about capturing the vibe and the energy too. This is also great when it comes to the more staged, formal shots that we usually have, such as couple portraits or family photos. Scrap the cheesy poses and ask your photographer to just take some photos of you all interacting normally. Those natural, in-the-moment shots really capture the heart of the big day. If this is something you'd like to try out, speak to your photographer and let them know that you'd prefer more candid shots. They might be able to advise you a little bit more on this, but they need to be in on the dream vision as well. They will, of course, be the ones bringing it all to life for you, so it's really important you speak to them. Now, another layer to this is the inclusion of disposable and Polaroid cameras for your guests, turning them all into your own makeshift paparazzi to snap away at those little moments that you might miss throughout the day. This is going to leave you with an amazing mix of shots that will let you take in your wedding day memories from completely different perspectives. Now, when it comes to disposable cameras, you can leave them on the guest tables where they'll be dining, or right at the entrance if you want to encourage their snapping away right from the very start of the day. Let someone know how many cameras you have and delegate the job of collecting them all back in the evening to make sure that no enthusiastic guests take any with them. This is a great job for an usher or a groomsman, for example. Whether it's disposable cameras or asking your photographer for more natural candids, I know these are definitely my favourite photos from our wedding celebrations because we all look like us and just interacting how we usually do. You can definitely feel the love and affection through these photographs, so this definitely isn't a tip for you to ignore. Number 2 for us is textured cakes. If you're anything like me, then your wedding cake is top of your list of wedding priorities. I have a massive sweet tooth and I love the idea of a gorgeous statement cake. Now, just because I say statement cake doesn't mean that it has to be anything big or overly lavish, but just really interesting and beautifully designed. And this is where the new trend of textured cakes is taking over. Cakes are no longer bottom of the agenda, with cake designers getting more and more creative, and nothing makes your cake more like a work of art than adding texture. It's so simple, but it really elevates the look of the cake. It can be lace, pleats, draping, even small folds. It all creates a simple but striking effect that your guests will fall in love with. You can be really sentimental with it if you like. My husband wrote me a card when he proposed to me, and we worked with our cake designer to use the words that he'd written in that card to be printed onto edible folds of paper, which created a really gorgeous effect on our wedding cake. The writing wasn't completely legible in its entirety, just small excerpts inside each fold, which meant it was still a bit more private to us. We weren't sharing everything with our guests, but it added such a special touch, and it was really sentimental. You can also keep it really cohesive if you prefer that sort of direction, bringing in elements of your dress, flowers, or drawing inspiration from the texture or pattern of another part of your day. For my friend's wedding, she had a gorgeous bold printed tablecloth and had the same pattern painted onto her wedding cake, and it just looked perfect. We might actually have to have a whole separate video on that wedding, because for my quirky and colourful brides, that was really a standout one. But the cake in particular was just such a thoughtful detail that brought together the design of the whole day in this incredible, edible work of art. So when you're speaking to your cake designer, or you start thinking of the style of cake that you'd like to consider, add in some texture. I promise you will not regret this one. Number 3 is short veils. Another big trend from Bridal Fashion Week is the fresh modern take on the traditional veil, and they're getting shorter. The traditional long cathedral veils seem to be a thing of the past when it comes to the runways, and the shorter veils are really taking over. Now, shorter veils are definitely less formal, but they're still really elegant and graceful. There are so many options for mini veils for you to choose from. Glittering tulle veils, pearl embellished veils, even headband veils that can be even more playful and interesting. One of my personal favourites is the cage veil. It has such an elegant vintage feel, but it's still really fun nonetheless. Not to mention that from a practical perspective, mini veils are so much easier to manage. Take it from someone who's been there, a long cathedral veil and a very windy wedding day don't go so well together. I'll leave that there. Mini dresses. As we're going shorter with the veils, we're going shorter with the dresses too. And our bridal mini dresses are here to stay. They've grown so popular over the last years, and not just for bachelorette or bridal parties, but the main celebration too. Lots of brides feel a lot more comfortable in a wedding mini dress, and it still feels really special and elegant, but perhaps a little bit more aligned with the sort of dresses that they're used to wearing. They work perfectly for civil registry office weddings as a fun bridal alternative, but you can definitely wear them for the larger celebration as well. There are so many options from really gorgeous bridal boutiques. You can have something more fitted, an embellished dress, dresses with drapings, something more fun with feathers, off the shoulder, or completely the other way with long sleeves. If you love a mini dress but you don't want to miss out on having a train, there's definitely an option for you too. I wore a gorgeous bridal mini dress for my registry wedding day by the incredible Lebanese designer Reem Akra. It was one shoulder, which I loved, and it had a long train, so I didn't miss out on any of the drama either. I felt so comfortable walking around in it all day, and I think that's really key when it comes to your choice of mini dresses. If long dresses aren't 100% your thing, this is one you should consider. You'll be really comfortable and you can dance the night away. It's also perfect for showing off your wedding shoes. Brides spend so long considering what shoes to pair their dress with, and the longer dresses, truthfully, you can hardly see them. The mini dresses offer an amazing alternative to really show off your bridal shoes. Now, if you have your heart set on a longer dress, you can always choose to have an outfit change and go for a mini dress in the evening. This will keep your guests on their toes and give you a new bridal look for photos, but it also means you can dance the night away and celebrate with all of your guests. Oversized bows. Bows have arrived, and it seems they are well and truly here to stay. Is it just me, or have bows taken over the world lately? They seem to be all over my Instagram and TikTok as a perfect solution to pretty much everything, and I have to admit, I'm not hating it. Particularly when it comes to bridal and wedding styling, bows are the perfect touch to add a sense of whimsical charm. Adding a simple bow to the stem of a glass or a candlestick adds a light-hearted, elevated touch to your entire tablescape. And of course, they're a dream when it comes to bridal accessories too. Whether it's on a wedding bag, shoes, hair pieces, they add the perfect little touch to your look. This is ideal for your outfits prior to the wedding day as well. But bachelorette, bridal parties, family gatherings, welcome dinners, when it comes to anything like that, think of bows. Oversized bows have also been making a big impact on bridal catwalks, adding a sense of drama and elegance to any wedding dress. They create a strong but still rather delicate focal point for the outfit, drawing the attention to the back of the dress, the neckline, or even the shoulder, which adds so much more interest and elevates the overall look. There are so many options to explore when it comes to bows in different sizes and even colours. I've seen gorgeous wedding dresses with a dramatic black bow across the back or the front. This may be one for our braver brides, but it's definitely a place where you can experiment with colour as well to find a style that really complements your dress and your vision. Now that's it for our annual trend update, our little dose of freshness and modernity in the overall timeless landscape of wedding. I hope you enjoyed going through them. My advice for you is to truly go with your heart when it comes to wedding trends. Don't worry about it aging or photos looking dated. Keep it simple. If you love it, then go for it. Everyone's wedding photos are going to capture a moment in time and be reflective of that time too. What's super fashionable now may not be in a few years, but then it all comes back around, as cyclical as all these trends are. So listen to me, we are not going to stress about that. Choose what you love and everything else will fall into place. If you're thinking of using any of these in your big day, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your favourites. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our wedding planning tips and advice. I'll see you next time and happy planning!